Here in Chicago, we've seen how the Laquan McDonald shooting exposed a deep lack of trust between minority communities and police. So how do we improve that rocky relationship between white cops and black citizens? It can start with one encounter at a time. Here's Robin Robinson.
This Facebook post is where it all started. Chicagoan and motivational speaker Dwayne Bryant posted his reaction to a traffic stop with an Indiana state trooper, and within days it went viral. The post did not show Bryant being tased or beaten. Instead, it captured a moment of mutual respect.
So I was going 85 but didn't realize the speed limit had dropped to about a 60 miles per hour zone. So I look up and I see the police. And so he asked me for my license, registration. So when he ran my registration, before he ran it actually, he told me he can either give me a $500 ticket or he can take me to jail. I'm thinking, I don't want either one of those. I got work to do. So then he came back with a $150 ticket. So I said, you know what, officer, thank you very much. I really appreciate this. And I said, can I take a picture of you? And he asked, why would you take a picture? And I said, clearly, because I have some students. And they think that if a black guy gets stopped by a white police officer, it's going to be a fatality or something is going to go wrong. And I said, I just want to show them with proof that it doesn't have to go down that way. If you give respect, it's possible that you get respect back. So basically, after talking to him for a while, he took the ticket, he ripped it up, and he gave me a warning.
I've done in the past where, I've written tickets and, give people, breaks and give them a little, it's like, okay. But I mean, this one, it was just, he said everything like just right. And I mean, he said everything as far as like, it seems like he's not for himself. He's for kids. He's trying to help people. And I mean, that's what I do.
Since that encounter last year, The Stop, Bryant has been moving nonstop. He published a book about it and other encounters with authority. He's worked with several law enforcement agencies across the country looking to improve relations with their communities. Bryant would especially like to fix the fear, the perception of police by many minority youngsters.
If you're at the playground playing, doing nothing wrong, minding your own business, and if a police car drove over, what would you do? Yes.
I'm gonna run.
You're gonna run. Why would you run?
Because I feel like the police officer is trained to shoot.
The first time when I heard the students say I would run, I mean, when I sat there, I had to catch myself because I really got emotional. And I just thought, how many of my babies are gonna get shot in their backs because they're running?
And we are joined now by Dwayne Bryant to tell us a little bit more about where the journey that started out as a trip to Battle Creek has now taken you. The Stop becomes your first book.
Yes.
And now we could hardly get you on the program because you're in such demand. What has the response been?
It is fantastic, overwhelming, and incredible. I literally just got in last night at 1 o'clock this morning from South Florida, talking to young people about their responsibility, their roles when they have a police encounter. But it's not necessarily just about a police encounter. It's about life. Are you preparing yourself for life? Because those who are prepared make better decisions. Those who aren't make not so good decisions.
So we've already seen, what happened in The Stop. I would just like to point out that you are a motivational speaker.
Yes.
You have had, every time I've seen you over the years, you've had a big, that smile right there on your face. So your interaction with an officer who pulls you over, you are prepared to kind of charm your way through the situation. So is it fair to say that someone else could achieve a similar outcome? Maybe not get the warning instead of the ticket, but could have a good experience if that's not their personality?
I think it's fair to say that everyone can bring respect to the table. Everyone can bring personal responsibility to the table. Now, yes, I've been speaking in front of audiences for a long time, so I don't expect the average person to do that. However, the average person can remain calm. They can't put their hand on the steering wheel. They can't answer questions politely. They can't check themselves and their attitude at the door because a law enforcement officer is just trying to do their job most. And so therefore, why make it anything that it doesn't need to be? So yes, everyone can do it.
So several times in your book, you talk about your goal is to make it home safely. It does seem rather a tragedy that in many people's minds, the obstacle to making it home safely could actually be a police officer. That should be what helps you make it home safely. Do you see any recognition, you know, in terms of obviously the Indiana State Police have embraced you've been the best thing that happened to them since I don't know, since the basketball title or something. Yeah, but yeah, really, it's been great for them PR-wise.
Yes.
Something that law enforcement needs as well.
Correct.
But isn't it kind of a tragedy that we have to worry about such things?
It is a tragedy, and it's a tragedy on both sides, honestly. It's a tragedy that you do have a small element of law enforcement who use excessive force, who dehumanize people, who do not see someone as an individual, as a human being, and they just automatically go in to arrest, to criminalize. And it's also unfortunate that some community members also, they see law enforcement, they think this pig, this cop, this, you know, whatever they think. So honestly, it's on both sides. And I think when I wrote this book, I wanted to be fair. I didn't want to blame police. I didn't want to blame community, but I wanted to say we all have a responsibility, not just in the stop, but in life to be respectful. People are not respectful in general.
Well, but oftentimes people respond based on their own experience, or sometimes just based on what they've seen. You and I talked about how something negative seems to be magnified.
Absolutely.
You know, if I have a complaint, I'm gonna call you. If I had a compliment, I might get around to telling you at some point. So you seem to be trying to magnify the positive, a compliment.
Yes.
And how is that? I mean, that's not usual.
Honestly, a lot of people think the book is just about an engagement with law enforcement.
But it's not.
It's really not.
No, it's not.
It's about restoring humanity. It's about understanding your purpose in life. It's about understanding what are you here for. And let's tune into that level of frequency, and then we can be able to create the life that we want.
Do you see the conversation changing at all? I know Chicago's we're a flutter about the fact that you know, we've spent since 2004 $660 million settling lawsuits against police, but that doesn't. It hasn't changed anything, is what many critics would argue.
Correct.
Do you see at least a willingness to say we've got to try something new?
I think it has to, everyone knows you have to try something new. No one knows what the new is. This is not rocket science.
Well, if you body cameras, you know, citizen review boards, is that what it is? Is that going to capture the hearts and minds?
No. It's just now I'm going to videotape my crime. So if I don't like you and I dehumanize you now, I might think twice about it. But it don't necessarily stop me. If we don't get training, officers need to be trained. Community needs to be trained on what an officer's role. Community doesn't even, like people say, they didn't have to shoot that many times, but maybe they did. We don't even know the role of a police officer. So both sides need to come together, town hall meetings, school hall meetings, and have intelligent conversations where we're not trying to victimize each other or blame, but we're trying to understand.
As you look at this conversation, along with the conversation about mass incarceration, disproportionate incarceration of African Americans, it seems that we're at a fork in the road. Are people that used to say one thing to you, are they saying something else?
I think right now people are just, honestly, we don't know what to do. You are correct. There's a fork in the road. Which way do we go? Do we do the status quo, which is the easiest, most convenient, most comfortable thing to do, or do we challenge ourselves? The fork is everyone have to become self-aware. Law enforcement have to become self-aware. Their departments, their chief have to say, listen, this is the standard that we're going to operate with. Individuals have to become self-aware. We have to say, what is my personal standard for myself? And then from there, we engage in dialogue, because this is fixable. Right now, it is still fixable. It is solvable. A few years down the road, I don't know what it's going to look like. But honestly, when I wrote this book, it's like God gave me the power and the passion to write this thing in 40 days, the whole book.
Wow. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck on your journey. The book is The Stop by Dwayne Bryant.